Murray on his fourth Wimbledon semifinals after a tough match against the Spaniard David Ferrer yesterday, and it's the reaction of his coach Ivan Lendl. Oh, it got a thumbs up. There we go. That's the biggest reaction we've seen. Welcome. It's great to have you here, eight-time Grand Slam champion Ivan Lendl. You've been stoic in the box watching Mr. Murray. Not much reaction. Why is that?
You just watch and see what's happening and see what you want to do next match, what you need to work on, and that's about it.
Are you chirping inside?
Once or twice. It's probably going to get a little tighter next few matches.
What was the most important thing that he showed you in battling through that very tough matchup yesterday?
Yeah, I think the second set was very interesting to me. I think David started feeling a little fatigue. They were both running a lot. David slowed down a little bit, and he hit a few more shots down the line, so David had to cover for that as well, and therefore the cross-court shots became a lot better.
Do you think it's been a good thing in a couple of matches he's been up against it, and he's had to come through in a couple of these matches, and he's done it with more offensive tennis?
Yeah, when the draw came out, everybody was saying how tough of a draw Andy has, and I sort of chuckled. I think everybody is just reading way too much into everything. The draw is too tough. If he gets through, he may be tired. Or draw was too easy. He didn't have any test. You can't win either way. Just enjoy the laughter.
When Ivan Lendl, when Rafa Nadal was upset early, how did you approach that with Andy?
It didn't really matter until tomorrow. Because, as I said, Andy had a tough draw. He had a very dangerous opponents. Every single one of these players, even Davydenko, the match was very easy in the end. However, Davydenko knows how to play tennis. He has been extremely good. And if you give him a chance, he knows how to take advantage of those. So that's a tough match. Karlovic is a tough match. You never know how much rhythm you're going to get, what's going to happen. So every match has been a tough match. Cilic is not an easy match. There could have been Raonic in there. So to look that Rafa lost is totally irrelevant until tomorrow when Rafa is not there and Andy is inside.
So it sounds like you're keeping it simple and just scripting for one match at a time. I mean, you don't focus on anything ahead. Just look at that one match in front of you.
That's the way I used to play, and I think that's the way for Andy as well.
Can you describe your relationship with him? How do the two of you work together? How do your personalities mesh?
We crack jokes at each other without smiling. So.
That's not hard to imagine. What have you found when you first met Andy Murray, right, and you first made the decision to work with him on a regular basis? What did you really want to accomplish? What were you seeing in his game, and what were your goals?
Well, that's actually not the first time we met. I met him first time with Brad at
I was coaching him, and then he was a little bit disheveled in 2007 at a practice, and you were you a little perplexed on how much he was giving me the business?
Actually, I don't recall that. I recall how talented he was. That how many shots he could hit. That was quite amazing to me. I'm not sure, or if you say he was giving you business, he was giving you business. But to me, that's irrelevant because I can be giving you business and may mean it well, and it's a joke and this and that. And I didn't know either one of you. Well, I knew you better than Andy, obviously, but I didn't know if it would have been in jest or joke or serious. Didn't really matter to me. What stood out to me was how many shots he could hit and how clean he was hitting the ball.
Well, what did you think he needed to do to take it to the next level? What does he still need to do?
Well, yeah, obviously. I don't like talking about that too much, Anna.
No, I understand that.
That's something we work on.
Okay, what did you think you could teach him?
Hopefully how to win 7 matches in a major.
Get to 20 with it. But did you see some of the same parallels in yourself and some of the guys that you were chasing, before you got your first major to the same position that he's at?
Very much so in some ways. Obviously, I lost 4 majors before I won one. I hired Tony Roach after I won my first major in '84. I did hire Tony Roach that fall. I had 2 guys ahead of me. They were left-handed, so Tony Roach being left-handed was very handy, of course. But the era is very difficult right now. You got 3 guys winning 28 out of last 29 majors, I believe it is. And can you imagine Tiger, Phil, and somebody else winning every single major? How much publicity that would create? I think it's go a little bit under the radar in tennis.
Well, talk about the opposite of under the radar, and that's the pressure that Andy Murray really endures here year after year. And now with Nadal gone, now that it's the semifinals, he's asked about it a lot. I want to talk to you about it, but let's listen to what he said in his press conference yesterday about how he deals with all of that, all those questions, all that attention.
I think if you think too much about it, and you read the newspapers and you watch the stuff on TV that's said about you, I think it would become far too much. But if you kind of shield yourself from it all and just get into your own little bubble and listen only to the people that are around you, then it's something that you can deal with.
He said he gets into a bubble and only listens to the people around him.
Right.
How do you, as a team, handle all of the attention?
Just keep it to a minimum. For example, right now, after practice, there was BBC, and I'm going there crazy saying, cut, let's go. Just keep it quiet, keep everything the same, go back home, go for a walk with the dog, just like you have been going for last 3.5 weeks. And don't read the press, don't turn on the computer, just do whatever you have been doing.
Well, your best friend were obviously at the Open, where you drove yourself to the courts and you had that group. How much do you think that helps Andy here, where he's just really close, and then for some reason too, this court kind of makes him quieter than he is at anywhere else? Is it this environment of the court and being at home that helps him handle it?
Well, Brad, as you know, everybody is a little different. However, I strongly believe that less time you spend in the circus, and it would, as a good word, it's just so busy out here. Everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody is grabbing at you. The less time you spend here and more time you spend in your own environment where you enjoy being, better off you are.
How does he handle it?
I think he's doing great.
All right. Coming up, we're going to break down his game as that pressure is going to ramp up.
6 sets. That's what you're here for.
Let's take one set at a time.
Let's get Tree first.
One set at a time.
I like it. One match at a time, one set at a time. He's steady. Yvonne Lendl. We're going to break down Andy Murray's game, that win over David Ferrer, and what's ahead with Joe Wilfried Tsonga.